Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Jerrel. I develop games for a living. Today I'm going to try to figure out what's going on with the performance issues in Pokemon Champions. This is a topic that I have seen people express some degree of discontent with, and that is the performance of the game isn't very good, and that means that the frame rate is dropping during battle. There's more to it than it seems, and I want to try to explain whatever I can about this as a developer. From my understanding, this game was created in Unity. It's made by possibly some of the team that worked on Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This is Ilka. This is a different rebrand of the team, but this looks like it likely is made by the same people. I see some telltale signs of inexperience and a lack of higher degrees of competence when it comes to developing in a 3D development environment. So we'll go ahead and just hop into a battle really quick, and I'll just minimize myself and get out of the way a little bit. Right off the bat, what we see here in the battle environment are real-time reflections, and with the real-time reflections, how that works, to simplify it, is basically there is a camera that's under the ground that's pointing upwards. It takes a picture of the environment, and then it projects that picture onto the material of a piece of geometry. In this case, that geometry would be the ground here. So I'm going to start out by T-waving, and it is pixelated. We see that it's pixelated because if that photo that it takes is higher resolution, it has a much higher performance cost. So that is why we see it pixelated. That does negatively affect the frame rate. It takes power from the GPU in order to take that picture and then project it onto the environment. So luckily it's not even higher resolution, or there would be a higher performance cost. What we see in this is also a ton of real-time lighting here. And I'm just going to try to inflict some emotional damage here by chucking out a charm and reducing his attack power here. With the real-time lighting, this is developed in Unity by the developers of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And those developers have not conveyed a sense of particular mastery over development in a 3D space. I'm going to swap out now to my mouse hold just to try and inflict some emotional damage here. In Unity, there are two approaches that you can take to rendering. You can either render in deferred or forward, and with deferred, it doesn't matter how many real-time light sources you have. Before I continue on that, you can see the frame rate for Corviknight is actually lower than the rest of the game, so something about the animation allows the characters to animate much lower frame rate, and it does not look good. So we're going to Population Bomb, and my strategy here is to inflict emotional damage. It's not going to do a lot of damage to the HP, but I do have King's Rock equipped to my mouse hold, so if I get enough hits in, there's a chance that I'll get a flinch, and it would be pretty funny if I flinched him off the 7 times. It flinched, so I did get the emotional damage there. What we're going to do is just throw out another Population Bomb, and he avoided it. That's unfortunate. So he's used Pluck. Let's see how much damage I take. I'll survive it. He did get the crit. What we're going to do is try to inflict a little more emotional damage. So in Unity, with deferred rendering, no matter how many light sources you have, the rendering cost is the same. If you have forward rendering, then I did flinch him with the King's Rock again, so we are getting the emotional damage here. We see a lot of real-time light sources. For example, all of this on the ground that shows light on the colors on the 3D models. If this were set to forward rendering, then for every light source, the geometry would need to be rendered again. So again, the rendering mode can very negatively affect the game. The models could be rendered over and over and over again if this is set to forward, because there's a whole bunch of different light sources. And what we see from the crowd, these are 3D models. In the past, you could have just used, cardboard cutouts. So we did defeat him using emotional damage instead of actual HP damage. Now we'll see, for example, the little girl in the crowd that's bouncing up and down. She's not actually animated. She's a static piece of geometry. She's just bouncing up and down, and you'll see that just on the left. Look on the left there. We do have characters that are very low poly count. I think it's a good idea for them to have used the 3D models, because it allows those models to be lit in real time, and it's just more immersive, and it looks better even if there's a performance cost. So hopefully we will be able... Oh no, we only hit him one time. This is very unfortunate. I'm going to survive that somehow. And I have one population bomb left, and if we're lucky, we will be able to inflict just... No, 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 no! He avoided my population bomb. Very, very unfortunate. What we're going to try is beat up now. That's only going to hit 3 times, but again, if we're lucky, then we will get the King's Rock effect on that. We'll see if we get any emotional damage. Do we get any emotional damage on that? It looks like we don't, unfortunately. I guess we used up all of our RNG for that first stock that we took there. So it is good that we have that model, but that 3D models for the crowd, but there is a chance that maybe that's causing a bit more performance issues than we want it to. So with the character model animations, again, they seem to be able to run at a significantly lower frame rate than what we would expect. We have the animated ticker banner. Have a look at the stanza. There's an animated ticker banner that would have some sort of performance cost. We have those flames there. That is a simple offset on the texture material on the model. That wouldn't have any performance cost at all, but something that Unity has a serious problem with. Okay, so this, he used safeguards, so I shouldn't try and do anything silly here. I'm gonna T-bolt him and see what we get out of it. There's not much that I can do here strategically, so I'm just gonna have to just chuck out some stuff here. Okay, so I do go first. We're just gonna T-bolt him again. And with the UI, so how Unity works is anything that's on the heads-up display here is on something called a canvas. And anything that is changed on a canvas, if you change one little thing on a canvas, whether it be text or an animated cursor like that, every single other object that's on the same canvas has to be reprocessed and re-rendered, and it means you're rendering that stuff over and over and over again. It has a huge, huge, enormous performance cost, so he's going to get some of his health back. It's not going to be a lot. Whoa, okay. That was a pretty goodly sum. This is going to be a tit-for-tat situation. When does the safeguard run out? Okay, they're no longer protected by the Mystic Veil. What we're going to do here is just chuck out a... oh yeah, that's right, I was taunted. Anyway, I'm going to throw out another T-bolt, but he's probably going to try and Draining Kiss me again. So anything on the UI, having things where the health bar decreases like that, having the animated little cursor that goes in and out, that's actually affecting the game really negatively on every single frame. And the only way to deal with that issue is to split up all of the different elements so that they are in different canvases. And if you specialize in Unity, that's something that you figure out over time, is with your canvases, create a bunch of different canvases and split up the different elements. So that is one way. This guy could kill me pretty quickly here, and I'm not sure what approach he's going to take. He's probably going to Drain Kiss me, so I'm just going to Sucker Punch and hope that this lands. If I get that Sucker Punch, that'll be the end of the match. And it looks like that's the end of the match. So that is my analysis. They're using bloom as a post-processing image effect. That looks to be at a pretty high resolution. If they reduce the resolution of the bloom, you would get significant improvement on the frame rate. A huge, huge amount. That's a big deal. Any of these laser beams, the spotlight effects that you see, any semi-transparent particle that has blending, such as this additive blending, has a significant, not a significant, but a much higher rendering cost than opaque geometry. So that is my analysis. I hope this has been interesting to you. And if you are interested in game development, please feel free to ask me any questions if you're interested in anything related to game development. I hope this has been interesting to you. Thanks very much for spending some time with me, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Take care of yourselves and be well.